Hand clap to the master brothers and sisters. We are finally back. We finally made it to another one. Welcome to this Mystelics reaction, guys. I'm with us today right here. Let us get into the vibrations for the day. Of course, I'm going to be talking about a number of things that I want to get to guys to notice. Very interesting stuff taking place in the nature of the Caribbean, Dominica. Brothers and sisters, there's an update of the Mackay individual, the boy who got burnt as a result of the bamboo situation, brothers and sisters. And of course, this is the update right there.
Morning, guys.
Morning.
We give thanks to be here. We
Indeed.
sincerely give thanks.
Yep.
Guys, January 8th, simple requests from you. We're praying for Mackay today. Today is the day he is undertaking second surgery.
Yep.
So we're just praying for a success. The first surgery went well, and that part of his body is healing nicely. The second part continues today in the whole grafting process. So let's just keep Mackay in our prayers today. I also want to keep, Mackay and his mother in our prayers as they mourn the loss of Mackay's grandmother and, Cassian's mom. You know, she was at the hospital for some time.
Sympathies goes out to her right there. It's very interesting that we're talking about these vibrations right there, guys. And of course, it coincides with what I'm going to talk about a bit later on today. So sympathies goes out to the friends and family of this individual right there. Thank God Mackay is definitely getting the medical attention that he truly deserves, brothers and sisters. And I think that is always a good thing right there. Let's continue.
And after some time, the good Lord called her home. So just keep the family in your prayer. And say to them, the Lord will not give you more than you can bear. And generally, to my folks out there, my fans, my followers, regardless of whatever situation you may be going through, it will be temporary. The good Lord will never give you more than you can bear.
As he's saying that, brothers and sisters, I'm like, death isn't temporary. It's something that is, that is cemented when it happens to your family member. That's something that stays with you forever. But I do think God gives you the grace for you to be able to bear it. I think that is the real motive behind what I think he's trying to say right there. You are given the grace to be able to bear that pain right there. Sometimes the pain never leaves you. Interesting. Never. But thank God for that grace.
Oh no, but we just said a prayer for Mackay. Mackay, you're going to come out of this. You're going to be back in Sophia fishing. Bless up. Niceness.
I'm guessing that's the boy right there who was doing a little
nice.
Fishing. Guess that's him right there, okay?
Nice.
So that's good. Hopefully everything comes back. He looks like he's a very active individual. So, the bamboo situation is definitely a sad one in that regard right there. But keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that they had to send this individual overseas for better medical attention right there. Take a listen to this one right there. This is SKERRIT. Talking about the healthcare in Dominica, brothers and sisters. This is SKERRIT.
We've certainly revolutionized healthcare delivery in Dominica. We have dramatically increased the number of services that have been offered now in Dominica. The type of the quality of the equipment, the high tech.
The HIFU, you got to talk about the HIFU.
Equipment. We have the HIFU machine.
This is the first time I'm listening to this, guys. Actually, the way I found this audio right there, brothers and sisters, was on the basis of listening. Individuals were sending me. My friend actually messaged me saying, "Mystelics, you are scared saying about the hospital, but actually, what's going on?" So anyways, I didn't really take much type, thought to it. But then when I go through my message, people are talking about the Prime Minister, the rubbish. They're talking about the hospital. So I had to get this done. And that's how I ended up on this. I heard the snippet. This is actually on Matt, on Q95 right there, on Matt. Matt in the morning, Matt in the afternoon, one of them brothers and sisters. But definitely on Matt. And of course, this is SKERRIT. This is the voice note of SKERRIT talking about, the hospital and how great the hospital has become.
That we have not even heralded in terms of the number of people who have benefited from the use of that equipment. We have more.
Brothers and sisters, keep in mind, SKERRIT was boasting that Dominica has the HIFU and the HIFU. All right, great. Now keep in mind, brothers and sisters, that machine has been rejected by almost every hospital across the Caribbean and the world by extension. The machine that he's happy talking about, the HIFU and the HIFU, the Ninja Kung Fu machine, brothers and sisters, has been rejected because that has been indicated. I think the machine doesn't read properly, or it doesn't give the accurate reading of something of that sort, and as a result, persons have the other medical fraternity. If I do remember correctly, brothers and sisters, because I was doing some research on that, and that's why I found out that a lot of the hospitals have been rejecting that very machines that SKERRIT is happy to talk about. You can do your research for yourself, brothers and sisters, if you think I'm joking right there. Anyways, let's continue right here.
Doctors are already needed at the hospital, to be honest with you, in many areas. The ICU, we have more theaters. We have 4 or 5 theaters.
That's true.
There, we have increased beds at the ICU.
Yeah, they have increased beds, but there's more bed sores. that's a whole other thing right here.
I mean, there are a lot of wonderful things happening at the hospital, and healthcare in general across Dominica. And the issue of I've listened to the discussion in Dominica in recent months, and people are saying that people should pay something for the healthcare.
Why would they say that? SKERRIT, why are you lying on the Dominican people? Because you know why I know you're lying? One, the Dominican people don't generate much funds for them to want to say, oh, let us pay something more. That is lie. That is not true at all. SKERRIT, lie. You lying on the medical fraternity, on the healthcare fraternity in Dominica, especially the Dominican people. Their salary is not increasing. SKERRIT, their salary is not increasing. How on earth would the Dominican people say, let us pay more? Why?
Those who have to pay sometimes don't pay. That's a challenge we have in Dominica.
So if they don't pay, why would they want to pay more? SKERRIT.
People talk about the government should be doing this and that, but we don't speak about individual responsibility. And I'm happy the caller is highlighting this in a constructive way. I made a point in Parliament that between 2022 and 24, thereabout, we have not collected over $7 million from services that the hospital provides to citizens, and this is money that the hospital could use to maintain the hospital. When you look at the cost of certain services and compared to other jurisdictions in the Caribbean, I mean we're paying a fraction here. I mean, as it is now, to do an MRI.
SKERRIT, you're not lying there. They are paying a fraction. But they are paying a fraction on a healthcare that is not good. Therefore, I think they should probably try to elevate it a little bit. Don't you think so? But then to elevate it, brothers and sisters, you need money and surplus to be flowing, which of course they made 40% of the GDP disappear from Dominica. And keep in mind, brothers and sisters, it's interesting to hear SKERRIT talk like this. But he's completely forgetting he's the one that has destroyed the economy, thus allowing more people, I would have to say, more people to not be able to afford it. Therefore, he has to give handouts in that regard. This is why they are calling for the government to do something about it. Back in the day, people could handle their stuff. Today, or let me not say people, majority of people back in the day could handle their stuff. There's just a minority of people back in the day that couldn't handle this stuff. Right here, brothers and sisters. Let's keep it a buck. Today, there's more people that cannot handle it today, and less people now that can actually handle it. The very SKERRIT himself that is speaking about the medical fraternity himself is indicated or has indicated to us that he can send his children overseas for better medical attention, but wants to make it seem as if, hey guys, this is the hospital that I'm using. He tried to make it seem that is the hospital that I use. That is not the hospital he uses. And we'll find another moment, brothers and sisters. Let's continue.
All right, is $150. The average cost in the Caribbean is about $1,800. You understand? And there's a recurrent cost too. I
don't know if what SKERRIT is saying is true, not brothers and sisters, but they can afford it. They can afford the $1,800. You mean Dominicans cannot even afford the $150, and you want to make it seem? Oh God!
Maintaining those facilities, those machines, and those equipment. So we're taking note. It's something that we intend to look at.
What look at? As you say, that the people want the people to pay more money. That is what you guys looking at. Just like you say, oh, we're going to look at Dovasco and Domlek, and they have increased fees on the people who already.
And to see how people who have the means should be able to pay, how the hospital can, and Ministry of Health can enhance its collection.
Okay. All right, SKERRIT. So he wants to charge the people more. I told you guys this years ago that SKERRIT is going to do this. He's going to do what? Put the fees on the people on the bad decisions that they have made. And as a result of putting the fees on the people, They are able to pay for the things and the bad decisions that they have made, brothers and sisters, including those that we don't know, it's alleged, brothers and sisters, on the basis that they have been taking loans that are not really loans, but they tell the people it's loans they take in. So the people have to pay back these loans, even most likely these are not loans. And if it's loans, that means you have to go back to somebody. And who that somebody is, I don't know, but it could be the very SKERRIT himself that the loans are being paid back to. Let's take a loan for Dominica from the actual funds that we have from CBI. Give it to somebody and let them give it to us. I don't know, I'm just saying. This is my speculation. Okay, brothers and sisters, give it to somebody, let them give it to us as a loan. They do not know, maybe they don't know if it's a loan or something, but they're giving it to us. We, the Dominica people, know we're taking a loan from them, even though it's from the very CBI funds. And then we are paying it back with interest back to people that we have no idea what is going on. We're talking about transparency in Dominica. All right.
And the various methods of payment. So it's something that we're going to look at. I mean, we subsidize in a dramatic way, even medication.
You subsidize medication, SKERRIT. You subsidize Dominic, you subsidize Dowasco, you subsidize... Let's say what he's saying is true. But there's a reason why you would have to subsidize it. Because the people are not able to afford it. And now you've destroyed the people's ability. Now you want to put more boy, all you Dominicans one day, all you labor, not Dominicans, sorry. All you labor rights. Or you must wake up one day.
I mean,
all you will wake up, Some of all you labor rights, but you escaping Dominica to go America and go United Kingdom and go across the Caribbean so you can escape the trouble that you have put Dominica in. Can you imagine that? People trying to escape the very trouble that they have put Dominica in right there. Oh, for love of party. Wicked soldiers.
They are vented in the puff at the hospital, say for $9. But outside the gate of the hospital, it's $50 for it.
SKERRIT is talking about insurance. SKERRIT, insurance. SKERRIT talking about the insurance.
You understand? There's one I was told is
boy, that's scared though, easy, And the thing is, a lot of Dominicans are ignorant. They are highly ignorant about these things. And they think everything is fine and dandy. Oh, nothing is happening. No.
I said to you, you get a particular item for $2,800. At the hospital, it's $700 at the CMS. So all those things are subsidized dramatically. We have healthcare. We understand. We as a government understand and appreciate the fact.
SKERRIT, prove to us it's been subsidized. You come in and say these things. Okay, let's say, guys, what SKERRIT is saying is correct. Let's say everything that SKERRIT has stated right there is correct. Can he then prove to us what he's actually saying is true? Can he come and say, hey, guys, look at the documents. This is it right there. That's how much you pay. This is from the treasury. This is where it comes from. When they're doing the budget, brothers and sisters, where from the budget do we see subsidizing taking place? Where? Do you see it anywhere? Or is it under the office of the Prime Minister, for which we can't even quantify or clarify in the first place, brothers and sisters? Huh? Logic is important, Logic is important in this kind of situations right here.
Yeah. We need to ensure that every citizen who needs healthcare has access to it too. So we have to ensure that we balance off the need for people to pay something and that those who cannot have access to. And because what we do not want to happen is what happened during the United Workers' Party time. When people did not go to the hospital because they were...
They didn't go to the hospital? Really?
Demanded...
Wasn't it just around United Workers' Party time people from overseas used to fly to Dominica to get better medical attention, SKERRIT? People used to fly. I met people. Boy, we in other countries who have no ties to Dominica, who've come to Dominica, who came to Dominica back in the day for them to do operations. There was one guy on my vlog specifically in Les Saints, the man living right there. Only operation he ever come to do in Dominica was back in the day. Okay.
Required to pay the hospital fees. And if they owed, they would not be allowed to come in. And so you had situations. This is how we brought about the policy up.
Brothers and sisters, back in the day, who do you know? Can you guys clarify with me? Who do you know was not able to go to the hospital because they owed some bill or something? Who do you know was not able to attend the hospital to get better medical attention anytime under United Workers' Party? Who do you know? Let me know that, brothers and sisters. Let me know that. Right there.
Of free healthcare for 60 and over. When I visited the Canago territory, I've said that sorry before, I don't have time to say it today. There were many people in Dominica who did not go to the hospital because they were told unless you pay what you owe, you will not be allowed to be admitted.
Can anybody come on record and say this? Can anybody on Can anybody? Anybody at all, send me a video, send me an audio, don't send me video, on audio and prove what you're saying. My email is BrBpTV@gmail.com. Once again, BrBpTV, B as in bat, R as in rat, B as in bat, P as in pat, T as in tat, and V as in vat. You get the point. Already, brothers and sisters, at gmail.com. Send me something, brothers and sisters. Send me.
And so people basically...
Because we know SKERRIT like to lie like shit. SKERRIT and Satan just competing to lie. Just blatantly lie.
To avoid the embarrassment and die at the homes. And so on. I had a call.
Brothers and sisters, who died in the hospital? Who? Bruh. SKERRIT boy. Who dying in the hospital? How much people dying in the hospital on a daily basis, brothers and sisters? Look, we just spoke about the lady that passed away. It could be age, it could be something. It could also be the lack of proper medical attention. This is why the lady passed away. It is a reason why this video came about. So clutch, brothers and sisters, on the basis of the update of Mackay. Mackay is not in Dominica getting medical attention. And that proves something, brothers and sisters. Because he had to be flown away for something that SKERRIT want to make it seem more the healthcare in Dominica is so brilliant. Oh, really?
I'll call already program response saying people used to come from overseas to Dominica for medical care. I'm not aware of that.
You don't know where it, bro? Really? I remember in Portsmouth as a little boy, surgery used to take place in Portsmouth. They used to deliver babies in Portsmouth. You see where the fire station is, brothers and sisters? Right there, babies were delivered. If I recall it properly. But I just remember there were pregnant women and this kind of people there. I don't know if it's health thing or go and check or whatever. But I just remember that they used to have a lot of pregnant people. I remember, I can picture it all. I seen it right there. The hospital was blue. It was blue, brothers and sisters. And them benches and thing there. And people waiting for them to get checked and so forth and so forth. And I know, because I've met people overseas who did go get surgery in Dominica on the United Workers' Party. They're from overseas, had no ties. Dominica was #1 when it comes into the medical fraternity in the Caribbean. And Dominica is the last kakarot. There's something I saw when it comes down to the GDP factor, brothers and sisters. I will share that with you guys tomorrow, because this one is a long one right there. We also have the opposition leaders coming in to give what their views on what SKERRIT had to say right there. So let's continue.
Because you had one used dialysis machine. You did not have MRI. You did not have CT scan. So what they will come to Dominica for? People coming to Dominica now because they have MRI that they're paying a fraction for. They have a CT scan. They have a HIFU machine. We have an oncology department.
One thing, you like that HIFU machine, eh? You like that HIFU machine, brothers and sisters. I remember as a little boy growing up, and there were doctors upon doctors. You had different doctors you could go to. I remember when I was growing up, brothers and sisters, I had a particular issue because I was born fast. I was born fast. I didn't reach hospital. By the time I was born, the best just bring me home. I was ready. I was ready for the world, brothers and sisters. I was ready. Anyway, something happened to me, brothers and sisters, and I had to go to a number of doctors. And we could find a number of doctors to try to check out what actually happened to me right there. A number of them. Can you do this today? Can you? Most of the doctors that I know back in the day are no longer in Dominica. There's one particular one. I say, bro, how come you're still in Dominica? He said, Dominica is my home. He said, Dominica is his home, bro.
We have some of the best bone surgeons in the Caribbean. We have some of the best...
that is something else, eh? Sorry about that, guys, but let's continue right there.
We're the best eye care facility.
Wasn't the same SKERRIT the one that was trying to prevent certain people from not actually or not renewing their contracts because they did not support him? And people were making noise saying, how on earth could SKERRIT do something like this? You have people who are skilled in certain attributes, yet still very SKERRIT is the one preventing them from coming because they do not support him. Crazy stuff right there.
Cutting edge stuff and so forth. So people come. And there are many Dominicans who live in the U.S. Virgin Islands, in Guadeloupe, in St. Martin, in the United States, who come to Dominica for medical care, who come to look at the surgery because it's a fraction of the...
Yeah, a lot of folks. Why would they? France have free medical care. People live in Guadeloupe and come to Dominica. SKERRIT say that. SKERRIT, they have free medical care in France with some of the best doctors in the world. And SKERRIT say they come in Dominica instead for medical attention. But SKERRIT, you have more guts than fish. You can swim, you are lolling, my brother. You are lolling like, whoa, you can swim from Dominica to Africa on one breath. Father, like that.
But they'll pay United States. I love if you don't have insurance.
United States.
So you don't have access to the Affordable Care Act of Obama. You have a problem. So,
Boy, SKERRIT, you know people can go and make surgery, and then there's ways and means for them to just not pay it at all, pay the stuff at all. You know that, right? You know that. Okay.
We have a lot of Dominicans who come here for medical stuff. As a matter of fact, we should really be looking seriously at health tourism. Because we have the facilities for it.
He's right. We should be looking at health tourism, but only way he thinks now. Dominica has a lot of natural remedies that Dominicans. That is, imagine that. Dominica is considered the nature island of the Caribbean, has one of the worst health cares in the entire Caribbean. And SKERRIT is coming to tell the people that would believe him, who have no view of the world. But SKERRIT said, Guadeloupe people come to Dominica. What a joke is that? Hey, but SKERRIT, boy, you know, easy, boy. Hey, guys, no, boy, let me continue, guys. Sorry.
And we have the ability to provide the care and comfort to patients. And obviously, healthcare is an evolving situation. Sometimes if you go to the hospital, you may not get the treatment that you should get from an individual. Because
it's lacking. And I mean, brothers and sisters, can you imagine Dominica making noise about not having the hair net? The hospital, the hair net. Boy, it have paracetamol. It have a set of things, simple things, that's supposed to be had in the hospital, at least to alleviate pain. My God. Nurses have been complaining. Doctors have been complaining. They have been, I tell you, every single nurse that I know has left Dominica. I just happen to know a few because of the Mystelics family. No. But when they themselves want to leave, but they cannot leave. Why? One, because their salary not conducive enough to give them enough funds so they can save up, so they can leave. So they trap in Dominica. They trap. They trap. Can you imagine you as a nurse? You know what nurses making up here? Brothers and sisters, that nurses that working in the hospital are making good amount of money. There are also the private nurses that probably making double or 1.5 times more than these nurses.
But by and large, I mean, the nurses are exceptional nurses at the hospital. The doctors are exceptional at the hospital. They're exceptional
in their abilities, but they are limited. SKERRIT, you have limited them because they are fed up. They are fed up. They're not getting paid adequately. Can you imagine nurses can't even go to the bank and get loan because they have been told that their salaries is too low? I just found out, brothers and sisters, as I was listening, maybe it's in somewhere, I was listening because I start filming after you know, this is, anyways, you get the point. But I started filming and somebody, I think on the radio stated that the nurses, a doctor, that's a doctor in Dominica making $5,000. $5,000 EC dollars a month. Doctors, you mean to tell me go and pay all that money overseas for you to come back Dominica to pretend like you're so patriotic to get $5,000 a month. $5,000, brothers and sisters. That's a $5,000, not even 2,000 US dollars now. Not even 2,000 US dollars. Because 2,000 US dollars is about 5,300 and something dollars. So now they probably getting 8,900, 1,800 and something, 8,800 and something US dollars per month as a doctor. Oh, $1,800, brothers and sisters, as a doctor. People working fast food in America making more than that. Fast food. You mean to tell me you as a doctor coming back? Boy, look. Hey, last week. Hélas.
I mean, people will have a bad day from time to time and tell you something they shouldn't say to you in retrospect. But we should never use a particular instance of bad treatment to justify our criticism of our healthcare system as a whole in Dominica. I mean, it's an extraordinary job and people are doing a fantastic job. I go to the hospital is clean, the beds are
the hospital must be clean, true. Very true, that's true.
Patients are well taken care of, obviously. You'll have one or two situations where things shouldn't happen.
One or two situations. One of the things that shocked me, brothers and sisters, is when I found out, what is alleged, let me say alleged, when what is alleged, how they treated Mr. Alwyn Bowley, one of the heroes of Dominica, when it comes on to the literature field, that the very man who wrote the national anthem of Dominica, and how he was treated in the hospital, it hurt me. It hurt me, brother, boy. That was my field mentor, man. It hurt me how they treated him in the very hospital. SKERRIT, that day you end up hell, boy, you're going to end up in the hottest part. Hopefully you ask God for forgiveness and, let's hope. But you better avoid hell, my boy. Because that hellfire, you and Satan going to be on the same level. Or you're going to face the hottest. You, Macron, Trudeau, as for that Kamala woman, well, she never come to do chaos, but she did some madness in California. So she'll go on a level that is not as hot, but just above it. That Australian Prime Minister, Mr. All you going to face all you and Satan, all you just going to be bandwagon in the hottest part of hell, boy. Or you do freaking wicked, boy.
But by and large, I mean, we have to give credit to the healthcare professionals, and I will not allow anybody to denigrate them or to unjustly criticize them.
SKERRIT, not you after the whole Rona situation, you was applauding the nurses. Weren't you applauding the nurses and great? SKERRIT, what did you give them? Did you give them a raise for all the work that they have done? Did you give them a raise, SKERRIT? What exactly did you give them to applaud them? Or you just come and tell them publicly, yeah, great. That's why I doesn't care when people want to say, oh, let me call your name in front of the podium and this kind of things. Oh, no, come and film it for me and then we'll call your name in front, we'll give you recognition. I tell them, I don't care about your recognition. What does recognition have to do with nothing, brothers and sisters? If you have to pay me my money, don't recognize me. But if you pay me, you still have to recognize me. But anyways, but I'd rather you pay me and don't give me no recognition at all. Don't give me no recognition. I don't want recognition for what? These people did work hard. You said they work hard. You expecting some sort of help or some sort of elevation, brothers and sisters? Absolutely nothing from my understanding. Or anything of substance was given to these people right there, or they're still waiting. I remember talking to one of the doctors, and some of the people, I don't say much. And they said they didn't receive anything, or they're still waiting. You give them a round of applause. Ooh, recognition. Wow.
When I have an issue with them, I say to them privately. I won't come.
Let's finish. Let's finish with SKERRIT. So Matt was talking about some opposition people.
To the job.
Matt, let's listen.
You go to the hospital, you walk to inside of the.
So this is actually not the opposition. This is actually a caller giving her views on the hospital that SKERRIT is talking about right there.
The ambulance. You come back out 7 days later, 14 days later.
So this is when I started to film, guys. This is when I started to film right there.
With contracture, you can't walk. Where is SKERRIT sympathy for the people that have to face those kind of challenges? You go there for a broken arm, and you come out in a body bag.
Remember, a man had a problem in his wrist, brothers and sisters. He had a problem in his wrist. He go to have an operation on his wrist, and he did not make it out from that hospital alive. There's a number of people, I can think of Frampton, a number of people there. I can think of them who are supposed to be alive today, and sometimes you have to put blame on the people too, true. But there should be good, proper medical attention to be able to handle this kind of situations that is very much lacking. And it's one thing when you have the ability to do something. It's kind of like having the ability to film. You have the ability to film, manipulate film, and all these kind of things you are able to do. And you're in Dominica trying to do these things. And you don't get it much. But you go overseas, you go to the United Kingdom, you go to St. Kitts, you go to one of these places that are actually utilizing these kind of things there. And you push forward in that, and you actually get paid for these things, brothers and sisters. This is why I always tell people, if you have a talent and skill, especially those in the music scene, do not stay in Dominica. I remember I used to do music in the United States, you know, brothers. I used to do music all over the place. And I used to clock my entire yearly salary, in 3 weeks.
And we have the best health systems. And you want to compare 2024 with 1999 when UWP was in office? And people were not even paying half of that. And our mortality rate coming out of the hospital wasn't a fraction of what it is now.
Facts.
Man, you see them thing there. You see me and all you kind of a prime minister. The hospital's so good. But your wife sent her friend to wherever in the Caribbean for acid reflux. And she had her 2 children just like me in the United States of America.
As the sitting prime minister, the man make his children born in the United States. His wife linked to Canada, he is alleged to be linked to France. He probably know why he does fly out for medical attention. Because he probably linked to France. Brothers and sisters. Interesting. But I don't know. I just saying what I want. Okay, let's continue.
Coming out of the United States of America and coming down to Dominica for medicals. If we fall sick in Dominica, then we have to go to the doctor in Dominica?
Exactly. I remember one of my family members who came from the United Kingdom decided they want to move back Dominica. They built their house in Dominica, in the Piquet region. They built their house and they so forth and so forth. Brothers and sisters, the lady almost ended up dying in Dominica. Thank God the lady could fly out. Boy. Thank God the lady could fly out and go to Martinique for them to stabilize the lady. Stabilize the lady, and then she flew back to France. Now they're staying in the United Kingdom. I'm France, to the United Kingdom. Now they went back to the United Kingdom. They only come in Dominica for vacation. Thank God the lady had that, because the lady would be dead today. She and her husband. Can you imagine? And SKERRIT come and talk about, oh, we have good, really? We have nice looking buildings, facts.
But for a doctor, and I saw people come from St. Thomas and St. Croix, because she's the best in the Caribbean when it comes to your eyes ophthalmology. And that was in 2000, SKERRIT. So we'll come again, my brother. We
know people that come from overseas for better medical attention in Dominica under United Workers' Party. Under them, and SKERRIT come and tell them it was back then and better now. I have a friend who died. My God, the girl died in pregnancy. She died.
Come again. Afternoon, Matt.
Good afternoon to you. Let's listen to
complete. Boy, let me leave that alone.
The opposition voices, the opposition leaders in Dominica in terms of their own assessment of our health system. We spoke to them just last week.
It is a national tragedy because.
So I think this is the green freedom fella. I forget his name.
That actually, I mean, the government mismanages everything it touches, right? And the government has done a hatchet job on all sectors of our lives.
You know King Midas? Is King Midas now? Or Midas, brothers and sisters, when he touch anything, it turns to gold. Yeah, King Midas, and he touches his daughter and she turns to gold. Well, SKERRIT is doing the complete opposite of that. Whatever he touches is destroyed. Whatever he touches is destroyed. Literally.
But when you look at the health sector, that is one that is so glaring, that really does kill Dominicans, or really does allow Dominicans to have poor life outcomes.
Yep.
This is one of the most glaring examples of the government simply not caring enough about the ordinary Dominican to ensure that they have healthy lives, to ensure that they have health outcomes that are acceptable. I mean, how can it be that we allow people to die simply because we are not investing what we should in the health care sector.
We have Haifu, Ninja. We have the Ninja Kataya. Haifu.
That we are not bringing in the right people. That we're not training the human capital. That we're not developing the sort of culture around healthcare that is caring and empathetic and measurable. Right? Put metrics in place that says these are the outcomes that we care about and these are the outcomes that we're going to, and hold people accountable. It is a matter of accountability, Matt. There is simply no accountability in Dominica in terms of metrics.
And all over too, not just metrics, everything.
Right? We do not set objectives and goals and say you must accomplish this, and if you do not, then here are the consequences. You're replaced, and you are your team is reevaluated, and the team is reassessed and structured correctly. That is what is going on in the health sector. It goes on everywhere in Dominica, but because it is such a drastic impact on people's lives, it is a good sector for us to focus on how good governance is simply not going on in Dominica.
Facts. Good governance is not going on at all in Dominica. SKERRIT has admitted that he can fly his children and his family overseas for better medical attention. Then ask people, the people in the crowd, SKERRIT, that do that to him. Asking the people in the crowd, what about you guys? As the sitting prime minister, he asking the crowd that following him and supporting him, what about them? And talking about the health fraternity in Dominica is good. Many people have died that should be alive today because of the... Many people, brothers and sisters, should be alive today. I have friends who came down from Canada and United Kingdom to check on their family members because the hospital was failing. Their family members had to leave their jobs to come down, bringing back their family members, brothers and sisters, and going and then hearing that the family members passed away. There's one particular one that did the story, actually did the reaction of that one. She came down to Dominica. She did everything. The nurses, the people, frustration or whatever people were, thing. She tried her best to help and asking the students and those people to help as well. And she brought back her grandmother. She brought her back. Bed sores and all these things were eating the lady. She brought her back, brothers and sisters. And she said every time she leave and she come back, it's like they undoing it. It's like they want the lady to die. The lady passed away. This is why she ended up writing that story and actually did that story right there. And scared her to come and say, oh, good.
Right? And the quality of outcomes in the healthcare system is just simply not measured. No one is held accountable. The funds that are used to pay advisors and ambassadors around the world is in the millions of dollars. The funds that are used to protect the Prime Minister.
Yes.
If we could rally to...
Buying vehicle for his children, then saying it's not for his children, it was. That's true. And say, I have no idea about it. And then come in and tell the people what the vehicle was supposed to be used for, but you have no idea about it.
Those funds. I am sure that many of the low-hanging fruit in the healthcare sector could be solved. So it's not a matter of funds per se. It's about the allocation of funds and the importance that is placed on the lives and the well-being of Dominicans, and the matter of what is a priority.
Facts. What he's saying is complete facts. I remember when Tazi went to the hospital. Thank God his son wasn't in a life-threatening situation. Thank God. He went to the hospital around 3 o'clock. You have to take your child to the hospital around 3 a.m. in the morning. 3 a.m. in the morning. And when he went there, he had to leave because he couldn't find nobody to help him. When you hear in the National Hospital, there are people to help you. And there's no consequence for that right there, brothers and sisters. Anyways, let's listen to Thompson Fountain.
Because it certainly was better 20 years ago than it is now.
Facts.
We've regressed in many ways.
Always we have regressed, except the construction industry, because it's been handled by foreigners. They have, moved forward. Dominica is going backward in the construction industry. Imagine that. The construction industry is the only industry doing very well in Dominica. Yet still, with the construction people, that's something else. The construction industry is doing well, but not doing well for the people of Dominica. It's doing well for the foreigners. The foreigners who are alleged to be giving SKERRIT a building that he's staying in for 64,000, then renting that building for that he received for free, allegedly free. Allegedly, brothers and sisters, free from MMCE, allegedly. And then renting that building for $64,000 a month. And on top of that, he has advisors. I have 15 advisors he have doing absolutely nothing. But he paying them, what, $6,500 a month, I think, to advise the Prime Minister to do what? They just sit down doing nothing. They're advising Prime Minister, okay then.
Lack of basic medicines, you know, in terms of the way the medical personnel are treated and so on, the inability to hang on to our nurses, our trained, skilled nurses, because they're going to greener pastures.
But why should they stay? $5,000 a doctor making me? Because I bet that doctor come up here and come and work at Burger King. Come and work Burger King, my brother.
You know, just a whole litany of issues. Recently, there was a scandal in terms of the medical stores, I understand, and drugs and the mishandling of that. The way in which you judge whether or not a society, or one of the key measures of a society that is making progress, is in the health sector.
Facts.
You judge by the health sector. And the fact that we have not done well in health is an indication that societally, in society in general, we are degrading, we are going back. So we are in a major state of crisis. Persons are literally fearful of going to the hospital.
I remember my very father said, if he falls sick, do not send him to the hospital. Don't send him to Dominica hospital. Don't send him there. He said he'd rather die peacefully at his home.
You hear of persons who are meeting untimely deaths, and you know, they go in for a little thing and then they don't come out.
That hit me a little, brother and sister. That hit me a little. I don't even know what was being stated right there. Because as I studied that statement, Alvin Bully came to mind. Hélas.
People are fearful, Matt. I mean, the level of fear that you have in Dominica now, persons who do not want to go there. You have the issue as well of just access, you know.
Before you continue, I remember one of my friends' grandmother or grandfather was in the hospital. He's an old man, weak, and all those kind of things there. The man died. Let me continue.
No, in terms of the lack of a national insurance program that would cover persons who do not have the means, you know, or who, even if they have the means, would like to pay into an insurance that would take care of that. So we need to tackle this issue of healthcare. We need to also make use, and I agree with Josh and Nat, to make use of our many doctors. Dominica has produced many doctors over the years. We have doctors today in Dominica who are unemployed. All right, there are doctors, I know for a fact there are doctors.
Doctors in Dominica unemployed. Go and work Burger King in the United States. You will make more money than people in Dominica. Go and work Burger King as a doctor from Dominica.
Who are in Dominica today
why unemployed?
Yeah, because they're not able to find opportunity in our health system. And I am blown away, you know, because I was approached by a doctor not too long ago, and who gave me the information, and I was blown away. I was saying, but I thought, you know, there would be an opportunity within the system that our young doctors go overseas and train, and they come back and they're able to find opportunity. They are not able to find opportunity. We look at the wages of these doctors. I saw a post recently, a medical doctor getting 5,000 EC, man.
That's where I heard that from. I was actually listening to the radio when I heard that from right there.
5,000 EC dollars, you know.
5,000 EC dollars, brother and sister. 5,000. Where's that doctor go and work Ross? You should have gone and work Ross. Ross do Ross again. Thanks to SKERRIT.
You know, after spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in training,
US dollars.
And so,
US. It's not EC dollars. You're going to spend US dollars.
So on, and you come back to that kind of salary. It takes a special person to even want to stay there for that.
It's either you special or you foolish. One of them. You mean to tell me you spend all that money It's like $60,000 you're making if you don't use your money at all. $60,000 that you're making for the year. You know, $60,000 is equivalent to 24,000 US dollars. 24,000 US dollars, if my math is correct right there. 24,000, 23,000 US dollars around there. $60,000. You spend a few hundred, you know how much years you have to make? There are doctors in the United States that came down back to Ross and was giving their stories and they still paying loans. Far less for you. Far less for you. Gasa. Boy, you mad.
So you see why a number of our doctors are migrating, they're leaving because the pay is not right. The system is not right. I remember years ago, we've been talking about even just our nurses. Many times I'm coming, from the countryside. I have to stop to give nurses rides. They're out there in the rain, standing up, 7 o'clock in the night, trying to get into town.
I've seen some of them too. I've given some of them ride too. Yes. I see them in the white. Sometimes they're in Salisbury waiting. They're on Salisbury bus stop waiting for a ride. Boy.
I mean, you've not been able to even organize for your workforce, for your nurses to be taken care of, not to be exposed as they are. So there are many issues, but part of this is a fundamental problem that we have in Dominica. I lay everything at the feet of this government.
Yeah, and they have failed Dominica drastically right here. Guys, sorry I've been very long on this video right here. Sorry about that, but hopefully you guys understand. I have to give different perspective. I think the other partner give his perspective. I didn't really care about the other partner's perspective in that regard, but they pretty much covered the whole thing right there, brothers and sisters. They covered the whole thing when it comes down to that situation right there. And SKERRIT want to pretend that everything is fine and dandy. It's fine and dandy. Daisies, we're running for daisies in the meadow. Only a fool would believe SKERRIT. Only a blithering idiot would believe SKERRIT. But I don't think laborites are blithering idiots or fools. I think they have hope. But hope or promises, I think I should say. They believe in SKERRIT's promises. But promises are not compared to a fool, brothers and sisters. When you make promises and promises again, promises, you think it's free LW. Promises.
Broken promises.
You think it's free LW. Anyways, brothers and sisters, you get the point right there. If you understand what I'm saying, give this video a thumbs up. If you want to see more, definitely subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can get the latest vibrations when they tend to come from. I would appreciate that 150% right there. So subscribe, brothers and sisters, if you want more vibrations as I upload my videos in that regard right there. What are your thoughts, guys, brothers and sisters? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below so I can see what you guys have to say in that metric. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I have absolutely no idea what I'm saying based on objective reality, brothers and sisters. Help me understand it right there. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below. So, Mystelics once again. Be real, start the king always. Be positive.